What's up guys, it's Zach from Forney Brothers Music. Today I'm just gonna do a simple couple album reviews today about Greta Van Fleet. I know a lot of people really like Greta Van Fleet, but they've also had a lot of controversy. The main controversy there is that they're pretty much a blatant ripoff of Led Zeppelin, and I'm here to tell you that they're not. Okay, unpopular opinion, but I'm about to just tell you why. This is their first EP. It's Black Smoke Rising. It's with Lava Records. They have Highway Tune, Safari Song, Flower Power, and Black Smoke Rising. Those are the 4 original songs. And after this, they released From the Fires, which just added 4 other songs. They were all pretty much just old blues songs that they covered, which were also great as well. A lot of people liked this when it first came out, especially From the Fires. But I'm gonna talk about their first studio album later. But just a couple things about this. They're up for 4 Grammys this year, which I think is incredible and well deserved. So they're up for Best New Artist, which I think they have a good shot of winning. Best Rock Performance for Highway Tune. They might win. Highway Tune was a good song. It did top the charts for 4 weeks on rock charts. They also are doing up for Best Rock Album, which is From the Fires. It's not this one here. I was gonna get it on CD a little bit ago, but I just decided to pass up on it just because I have it on Spotify and stuff and I could listen to it whenever I want. And they're also up for Best Rock Song, which is Black Smoke Rising. And that, I think, is my favorite Greta Van Fleet song. So that was just a quick few things about that. And then you got this one here. I have seen so many bad reviews about this. So many people just ripping on them on originality. And just overall, they think this is bad. And I think it's great. I have only a few complaints about it, and I'll tell you the complaints is, let's see, what song was it? Brave New, no, that's not Brave New World. Anyways, I like this album, and I'll tell you why. This album is just all around a good rock album. It has a bunch of good songs. The musicality and instrumentation is great in it, and there's not really much that I could say outside of that. I mean, I'll go through each song. Anthem of the Peaceful Army is the first song. It's about a 6.5 minute long song. It's really good. People are saying that it's just a reboot of what they're doing in pretty much all of their other songs, and just like Led Zeppelin. But I see some hints of Rush in here. I see some hints of maybe Aerosmith. And the whole Led Zeppelin controversy, it just grinds my gears, you know? It just grinds my gears. Anyways, it doesn't matter if a band sounds like another band if they're into them. And even if they were super into Led Zeppelin and wanted to copy them, who cares? Honestly, who cares? They're making good music. They're making good music. It's easy to listen to. It's very enjoyable. It can match pretty much any mood. It matches summer moods. It matches kind of darker moods. I did have a complaint. I was talking to my brother actually a while ago about Greta Van Fleet, and I'm like, I'd like to hear something darker from them. And this is that album. It's a bit darker. They talk about things like climate change. They talk about some political things a little bit, but it's not the cheery, happy Greta Van Fleet that we're used to seeing. Actually, Mountain Song, or no, it's not Mountain Song. Anyways, one of the songs, I can't think right now, I'm sorry. They're saying that the water's rising, the air's so thin, but we're still smiling. We see no sin. that's basically just saying that nobody is actually like thinking about what's going on around us, and that we need to focus more on helping people. And that's what Greta Van Fleet's all about. They're super about nature. They're basically hippies living in the modern world. And I think that is one of their big influences too. They just like good 70s music, and who could complain about that? You know, they're attracting a lot of rock fans. They're attracting new rock fans. They're attracting younger rock fans like us who like the old music, and then they're also attracting older population, like the people that actually lived in the 60s and 70s. And guess what? They like this album too. So I don't see a problem with it. I really don't see a problem that they're being compared to Led Zeppelin. Yeah, sure, Josh Kiszka does sound a lot like Robert Plant, but I think he has a lot higher voice, and I think, honestly, he's probably a better singer than Robert Plant. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Robert Plant. He's probably the best rock vocalist of all time, but I just like the way Josh sings a lot better. I do love Led Zeppelin. However, they also did a lot of bad things in their career too. They stole and ripped off almost every single one of their songs in some way, shape, or form. Again, that's not to say I don't like them a lot, but I'm gonna keep going on the track list here, I'm sorry. The Cold Wind, that is one of the darker songs. It kind of starts in a slow, kind of ambient kind of wind and stuff, and he talks about you know, going down to the city. It's kind of old fashioned. Yeah, that one's pretty good. When the Curtain Falls, that was one of the singles on the album. They performed it on Jimmy Fallon, on SNL. They're just super popular, and nobody who could hate on them for just writing good music and attracting rock fans. After all, this is what we want. Rock has always wanted to be kind of in the spotlight now that rap and hip hop and R&B is kind of taken over now, and rock fans have always been kind of misunderstood and stuff, things like that. Watching Over, another very good song. I do like that one. That's the one that's a little bit darker. Yeah, he's talking about climate change and things like that in there. Lover Leaver, Taker Believer, that one's super bluesy. That was also a single, and that song is good as well. You're the One, love that song. It's a ballad. It's very beautiful. He has some really good vocal runs in there. There's also good guitar work and drum work, bass work. The bassist has really good work in all the music they do. He's very underrated, as was John Paul Jones, the bassist from Led Zeppelin, and he was very underrated. Same thing here in this case. I think the bassist in this band brings a lot of things to the table. The New Day, that's a good one too. That one's the more kind of upbeat one out of the entire album, I believe, is The New Day. Mountain of the Sun is my favorite song on the album. It's really good. It's nice and repetitive, but not too repetitive. The chorus in it is really good because he has some good vocal runs again in there. Brave New World is kind of like Anthem. It's a little bit longer. And then Anthem is another, this one's mainly about politics. He's talking about elements with the news and how we need to open our minds to other things outside of just, you know, watching TV and being on technology and stuff like that. But that one's Anthem. It's more of an acoustic song. I just want to say a few more things about where I think that Greta Van Fleet is going to go. I think that they need to tone down the Led Zeppelin-ness a little bit. Led Zeppelin-ness. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like that they sound like a vintage 70s rock band, but maybe something for their next project, they need to go a different route. Like in this album they did start kind of inching towards a maybe more psychedelic, more proggy kind of. I don't want to say like too much to, you know, not shy it away from being a great rock album, but I think that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I give the album a 9 out of 10. It's not perfect. It has some flaws, like there's a few songs in there that are still worth listening to, but not as good as the other ones. I'd say there's probably 2 or 3, maybe more too. But every other song on there is good. Honestly, a good rock song. And in the next Grammys, this album's gonna, mark my words, it's gonna win some accolades there. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you guys don't hate me for liking Greta Van Fleet.